My brother, my sister, have you wondered why your heart has been so unsettled lately? Why you feel restless, even when nothing around you has changed? Why you lie in bed at night and it feels like your soul is waiting for something you can't name? What if I told you, if this feeling is not random, what if this is the exact sign people miss right before Allah changes everything for them? Stay with me. Because once you understand what's really happening inside you right now, you'll never see this restlessness the same way again. And you'll realize it might just mean your breakthrough is closer than you think. The restlessness in your chest is a sign. My brother, my sister, that feeling in your chest lately, it's not just anxiety. It's not just overthinking. It might be the sound of Allah moving your life into a new chapter. A chapter you haven't seen yet, but your soul has already started to prepare for. You've been restless, and I know you've tried to explain it to yourself, to brush it off, to say, maybe I'm just tired, maybe it's stress, maybe it's nothing. But even when the world around you is quiet, even when you sit alone in your room with no noise, even when you turn off your phone to find peace, your heart refuses to settle. You try to distract yourself with work, with conversations, with scrolling through endless screens, but somehow it comes back. That pull in your chest, that unease you can't name. It's there when you wake up. It's there when you eat. It's there when you lay down to sleep. You wake in the morning and it greets you like a shadow that never leaves your side. And at night, when the whole world sleeps, you lie in bed, eyes closed, body heavy, but your thoughts, they don't sleep with you. They move like waves that never stop crashing. They circle the same questions again and again. What's happening to me? Why do I feel like something is coming? Why can't I just feel normal again? And sometimes you fight it. You try to drown it with noise or bury it under busyness, but it keeps rising to the surface. My dear brother, my dear sister, it's not madness, it's not weakness, and it's not a sign that you are losing control. It's a message. Allah stirs the soul before He shifts the life. Before a river flows, the ground beneath must tremble. Before a seed breaks open, the soil around it must crack. Before the rain falls, the air changes heavy, tense, as if the sky is holding its breath. This is what your heart is doing. It's sensing the change before it arrives. It's adjusting, making space, pushing out the old air so the new can breathe. You see, Allah lets the soul taste the scent of tomorrow before the eyes see it. He lets your spirit feel the footsteps before your body takes them. It's His way of telling you, stay awake, stay ready. I am moving things for you. And maybe you don't understand it now. Maybe you're asking, why do I have to feel this heaviness? Because the winds of change are never silent. They brush against the soul before they touch the skin. So don't dismiss it. Don't rush to numb it. Don't call it nothing. This is Allah's gentle knock on the door of your heart. It is His way of pulling you closer, making sure that when the next chapter comes, you're not just in the right place, you're in the right state. This restlessness isn't here to break you. It's here to wake you, to make you look beyond your current moment, to remind you that your story isn't stuck. It's simply being rewritten. So if your soul feels unsettled, if you can't put your finger on why, maybe you don't need to know the why just yet. Maybe you only need to know the who. And that who is Allah, the one who stirs hearts before He transforms lives, the one who shakes the inside before He changes the outside, the one who whispers, something is near, stay awake. Allah's silence is His focus. My brother, my sister, You've been asking Allah for answers. You've been begging for clarity. You've poured your heart out in sujood. And yet, all you hear is silence. You pray in the night and the air feels still. You speak from your heart, but the world around you doesn't shift. And you wonder, has Allah turned away from me? Has He stopped listening? Is my voice even reaching Him? Those questions can make the heart heavy. Because when you are hurting, the quiet feels louder than words. The stillness feels like distance. And the delay feels like rejection. But listen to me, silence from Allah is not abandonment. It is not a closed door. It is not a punishment. His silence is focus. His stillness is attention. His delay is protection. When a gardener plants a seed, he doesn't pull it out every hour to check if it's growing. He knows that growth is fragile, that it happens slowly, that it happens in the dark, beneath the surface, away from noise. Because if he keeps touching it, if he keeps disturbing the soil, he could harm the roots before they're ready. Allah is the most perfect caretaker. When He plants something inside you, a dream, a prayer, a change, He covers it with His mercy. He hides it under the soil of patience. He waters it with quiet blessings you can't yet see. And He watches over it every moment, even when you think nothing is happening. You may look at your life and see stillness, but Allah looks at you and sees preparation. He sees strength growing where you thought there was only emptiness. He sees wisdom forming where you thought there was only waiting. Think of the seed. In the darkness of the soil, it doesn't see the sun. It doesn't hear the wind. It doesn't feel the rain. But above it, the sky is already preparing the light. The clouds are already gathering water. The seasons are already shifting to bring it exactly what it needs at exactly the right time. My dear brother, my dear sister, sometimes you don't hear Allah's voice because He is busy arranging the very thing you are asking for. Sometimes you don't see His hand because it is working behind the curtain of the unseen. If He showed you everything now, you would rush it. If He gave you the blessing before you were ready, you might lose it. So He waits and He lets the silence protect you. Remember Maryam, peace be upon her, in her moment of pain, alone beneath the palm tree, she felt abandoned. She wished for the trial to end, but Allah had already placed water beneath her feet. He had already prepared the dates above her head. Her provision was ready before her cry had even left her lips. She just couldn't see it yet. And that's you right now. The answer to your dua might already be written. The relief might already be close. But Allah is letting you stand in this quiet place so that when it comes, you'll know without a doubt it was Him. Because here's the truth. If Allah had answered you the first time you asked, your dua would have been smaller. But in the silence, your dua grows deeper. Your faith becomes stronger. Your connection to Him becomes unshakable. So don't mistake stillness for absence. Don't mistake waiting for rejection. Don't mistake silence for a closed door. Right now, Allah might be more focused on you than ever before, watching every tear, counting every breath, knowing every ache in your chest. And when the time comes, not a second early, not a heartbeat late, that silence will break. And the way He answers you will make every moment of waiting worth it. So if you are in the quiet right now, don't walk away, don't give up, don't think you've been forgotten. Your prayer is alive and Allah is working quietly, perfectly, lovingly, because His silence is focus. The pressure means you're closer than you think. My brother, my sister, have you noticed that sometimes just when you think relief is coming, life suddenly becomes heavier than it's ever been. It's like the very moment you whisper, Ya Allah, I can't take anymore, the world seems to press harder. The phone call comes with bad news. The bills arrive all at once. The people you thought would stand with you turn away. And you think, why now? Why is this happening right when I'm already on my knees? But here's something you may have never realized. That weight you feel is not proof you're far from Allah's help. It's often the clearest sign that you're standing right next to it. The night always feels longest right before dawn. The air feels stillest just before the first drop of rain. And the heart feels heaviest in the moments before Allah opens the door you've been begging Him to open. Pressure is not punishment. It is preparation. Think of an arrow. Before it can fly forward, it has to be pulled back further and tighter than feels comfortable. If the archer stops halfway, the arrow will only stumble forward. But if he pulls it to its fullest, the release will be powerful. Right now, your life is that arrow. Allah is pulling you back, stretching your patience, strengthening your trust, building a resilience you didn't know you could carry. And when He releases you, you will fly further than you ever thought possible. You see, the bowstring doesn't break under the pull. It becomes more effective because of it. And so will you. Yes, it's hard to breathe under the weight. Yes, you feel like the walls are closing in. But what if those walls aren't closing in to crush you? What if they're closing in to guide you through the narrow doorway that leads to your breakthrough? Pressure is how Allah reshapes you for what's coming. It's how He presses out the old fears, the unnecessary pride, the hidden weaknesses, so that when the blessing arrives, you can hold it without it breaking you. Think of the Prophet ﷺ in Ta'if, wounded, bleeding, rejected by the very people he came to help. It was one of the most painful days of his life. And yet, what followed soon after was the miraculous night journey, a journey of hope, of honor, of divine reassurance. It was as if Allah was saying, I saw your pain, and here is my gift. The same is true for you. Your pain now could be the ground on which your greatest gift is placed. Look at the earth before a seed sprouts. From the outside, it looks still dead even, but inside, the seed is breaking open, its shell cracking under pressure. If it could speak, maybe it would say, this hurts. Why am I being split apart? But only by breaking can it push roots down, and only by pushing roots down can it grow upward toward the light. That's you right now. This breaking is not the end. It's the start of your growth. And here's the mercy in it. Allah knows exactly how much you can bear. He promised in the Qur'an, Allah does not burden a soul beyond what it can bear. 286. So, if you are under pressure today, it's because He knows you have the strength to carry it. And not just to survive it, but to grow through it. Yes, you may feel tired. Yes, you may feel like you are walking in the dark. But remember, the darkest hour of the night is proof that the sun is already on its way. You just can't see it yet. And when it finally rises, you will understand why you had to pass through this narrow place. You will see that what felt like the world pressing in was actually Allah positioning you. So don't mistake the heaviness for abandonment. Don't think the pressure means you're forgotten. It may mean you're only moments away. And when Allah opens the door, you will look back and realize this was not the moment you were breaking. This was the moment you were becoming unbreakable. So hold on. The pressure means you're closer than you think. Before Allah changes your life, He changes your heart. My brother, my sister, you've been asking Allah to change your life, to open the doors you've been knocking on for so long. to remove the pain that feels like it's been sitting in your chest for years, to replace the loss, the loneliness, the struggle with peace. And maybe you've been wondering, why hasn't it happened yet? Why does it feel like nothing is moving? But there's a secret about Allah's way. Before He changes your life, He changes your heart. Because blessings are not just gifts, they are responsibilities. They come with weight. And without the right heart to carry them, even the most beautiful blessing can turn into a burden. You might think you're ready now. You might believe you could handle it today. But Allah sees things you don't see. He knows the pride that could grow if the blessing came too soon. He knows the mistakes you could make if success arrived without wisdom. He knows the way your heart might hold on to the gift instead of the giver. So, before He delivers the blessing, He prepares the heart that will carry it. And preparation often doesn't look like preparation. It looks like loss. It looks like closed doors. It looks like people walking away. It looks like silence when you're desperate for answers. You look at your life and think, everything is falling apart. But Allah looks at you and says, everything is falling into place. Because a blessing without the right heart is like pouring water into a cracked vessel. It will leak away before it can nourish you. So Allah begins His work inside you, quietly, gently, sometimes painfully. He strips away attachments that were holding you back, people you leaned on too much, habits that distracted you from Him, plans that would have led you away from where He wants you to be. He humbles you in ways you don't understand, so that when the gift comes, you'll hold it with gratitude, not arrogance. And He strengthens you in ways you can't yet see. Every disappointment, every delay, every heartbreak, it's building something in you. Look at Yusuf alayhi as-salam. Before the position of power, there was the well. Before the palace, there was the prison. Years of his life were filled with separation, betrayal, and waiting. Not because Allah had forgotten him, but because Allah was shaping a man whose heart could handle the responsibility of saving a nation. If the blessing had come earlier, the story would have been incomplete. The same is true for you. Sometimes you ask Allah to change your circumstances, but He loves you too much to send the blessing before your heart is ready. So He changes you first. He teaches you to be patient without resentment, to forgive without being asked, to trust Him without needing a full explanation, to depend on Him when you have nothing else to hold on to. And all of this hard work happens in the quiet places, when no one is watching, when it feels like nothing is moving, when you wonder if your dua has even been heard. But the truth is, the blessing might already be ready. It's just waiting for you to become the person who can protect it, honor it, and use it in a way that draws you closer to Allah, not further away. Think about it. If Allah gave you the dream job, the right person, the big opportunity right now, would you have the patience to keep it pure? Would you remember to pray once it arrived? Would you handle it in a way that pleased Him? This is why the waiting is mercy. It is proof that Allah cares about you more than the thing you're asking for. Because one day, when you are standing inside the very thing you prayed for, you will realize it wasn't the blessing that changed you. It was the heart you built while waiting that made the blessing beautiful. And in that moment you'll say, Ya Allah, now I understand why you made me wait. Now I see the wisdom in every delay. Now I know the gift wasn't just what you gave me. The gift was who you made me become before you gave it. So don't mistake this season of hard work for stagnation. This is not wasted time. This is the construction phase for the person you're meant to be. Because before Allah changes your life, He changes your heart. The prophetic pattern of preparation. My brother, my sister, When Allah is about to change your life, He doesn't just open a door out of nowhere. He takes you on a journey. And often, that journey doesn't look anything like the destination you prayed for. This is the prophetic pattern of preparation. A path walked by every single one of Allah's chosen ones. A path that is not easy, but always worth it. Look at the life of the Prophet ﷺ. Before the honor came, the hardship. Before the comfort came, the loss. Before the opening of Makkah came the exile from it. He was loved and respected in his community. But the moment he carried the truth, that respect was replaced with rejection. People he trusted turned away. Some who loved him distanced themselves in fear. And through it all, Allah was shaping him for something greater. He faced ridicule, stones thrown at him, the pain of losing people he loved deeply. Khadija, radiyallahu anha, his pillar of comfort. Abu Talib, his shield of protection. Both gone in the same year, a year so heavy with grief. It was called Am al-Huzn, the year of sorrow. You might think, how can someone carry so much loss and still rise? But that's the thing, the rise happens because of the loss. Without those valleys, he would not have been ready for the mountains ahead. Look at Musa alayhi salam. He grew up in a palace, surrounded by luxury, yet before leading his people, he was sent into the deserts of Madian. Not for a day, not for a month, for years. He went from royal halls to open skies, from servants to shepherding sheep. And that was no accident. Shepherding taught him patience. It taught him responsibility. It taught him to lead without arrogance. Because if you can lead sheep, creatures that wander, resist, and scatter, you can lead people. Look at Yusuf alayhi as-salam. Before the robe of power came the darkness of the well. Before the authority came the humiliation of false accusations. Before the seat on the throne came the cold chains of prison. Imagine the loneliness of that well. No light, no voice to answer his cries. Yet that was the first step of his journey to Egypt's palace. Without the well, there would be no throne. Without the prison, there would be no preparation for leadership. And here's what you need to see. Every one of these moments that looked like failure was actually a building block. Every delay was a lesson. Every loss was a reshaping of the heart. Every disappointment was removing what could not go into the next chapter. Maybe right now, you are in the well, part of your story. Maybe you're in the desert stage where nothing makes sense and everything feels far from what you prayed for. But the prophetic pattern tells you this. The well is not the end. The desert is not your forever. The prison is not your destiny. It is the training ground for what Allah is building in you. Before He hands you the blessing, He makes sure you know how to hold it without arrogance, without greed, without forgetting Him. The Prophet ﷺ left Makkah with almost nothing. But when he returned with forgiveness in his heart, mercy on his tongue, and victory in his hands. That's what preparation does. It gives you the strength to hold success without it holding you. And maybe that's why you're here right now. Maybe Allah is not ignoring your dua. Maybe He's answering it by preparing you for the day when your dua will become your reality. Because here's the truth. If you received what you wanted before you were ready, you might lose it. It might destroy your humility. It might harm your soul. And Allah loves you too much to let that happen. So He takes you the long way around. The same way He took every prophet before you, the same way He takes every believer He chooses for something greater. And one day, you'll step into what you prayed for. You'll hold it in your hands and you'll realize it wasn't the blessing that changed you. It was the journey you took to get there. That's the prophetic pattern. And right now, you are in it. The shift you're feeling is the soul letting go of the old. My brother, my sister, there are moments in life when you wake up, look at the same world you saw yesterday, but somehow it doesn't feel the same. It's not that the streets have changed, not that your home looks different, not that your routines have vanished. It's something deeper, something inside you, something quiet but unshakable. You can't explain it to anyone without sounding strange. If you try, they might just smile politely, thinking you're overthinking. But you know it, you feel it. The things you used to crave don't have the same flavor anymore. The places you used to feel alive in now feel a little too small. The conversations you could once sit in for hours now leave you restless in minutes. It's not that those things are bad. It's not that you've suddenly become ungrateful. It's that your soul has started to loosen its grip on them. Allah in His wisdom knows when a chapter in your life is over, even before you do. And so He begins the most gentle of separations. Sometimes it's so subtle you barely notice it. Your heart simply starts to feel less attached. You don't respond as quickly to certain calls. You don't feel the same urge to be in certain places. You stop chasing what once felt urgent. Other times, the shift is more sudden. A door closes, a friendship fades, a path you thought you were meant to walk disappears overnight. Either way, the feeling is the same. A quiet, persistent tug inside you saying, it's time to let go. But letting go isn't always easy. Even when the thing you're holding is heavy, even when it hurts you, part of you clings to it because it's familiar, because it's what you've known, because the idea of walking without it feels impossible. So Allah helps you. He gives you a discomfort that grows, a restlessness that doesn't leave until the thought of staying the same becomes more painful than the thought of changing. And that's what's happening to you right now. You think you're just off. You think it's a mood. You think you just need a change of scenery. But what's really happening is that Allah is shifting your soul from one season to another. This is why certain things no longer excite you. Your heart is being recalibrated. It's no longer beating for what it used to. It's making space for something you haven't even seen yet. You might feel in between right now, not fully in the old, but not fully in the new. It's an uncomfortable place to be, a kind of emotional twilight, but it's also sacred ground because this in-between space is where your faith is tested most deeply. It's here that you learn to walk without full sight. It's here that you learn to trust the one who can see the map when you can't. Sometimes this shift feels like losing. You lose friends. You lose certain habits. You lose the version of yourself that fit into places you no longer belong. But loss in Allah's plan is often just another word for clearing space. Because when the heart is too full of the old, there's no room for the new. And what Allah has written for your next chapter is not small. It's not fragile. It needs room to breathe. It needs space to grow. Think about a tree in autumn. It sheds its leaves, not because the tree is dying, but because winter is coming. And without letting go of those leaves, it won't have the strength to grow fresh ones in spring. Your soul is in its autumn, and the leaves that are falling are not your loss. They are your preparation. So when Allah takes away, don't just look at the empty branches. Look at the roots, because He's strengthening them for what's next. One day, this strange, restless season will end. One day, you'll wake up and realize that the things you thought you couldn't live without were never the source of your life to begin with. And you'll stand in the new place He's written for you, lighter, freer, stronger. You'll understand that the shift wasn't here to destroy you. It was here to remove what was no longer aligned with who you're becoming. It was here to protect the blessing that's on its way. It was here to make sure you entered the next chapter with open hands, not clenched fists holding on to yesterday. So if you feel the shift now, let it happen. Trust that the one moving your heart is the same one who holds your future. The chapter that's ending has done its job, and what's ahead is better than what you're leaving behind. Every delay is a strategic positioning. My brother, my sister, if your heart has been unsettled lately, if your thoughts have been running in circles, if you've been sitting in silence wondering why life feels different, then listen carefully. This is not a mistake. This is not random. This is not without meaning. Sometimes, before Allah gives you what's next, He clears away what can't stay. And that clearing away can feel like breaking. He may take certain people out of your life, not because they are bad, but because they cannot go where He is taking you. He may close doors you were sure would lead to your dream, not because you failed, but because He knows that dream would have been too small for the soul He is shaping inside you. He may let you feel restless where you once felt comfortable, not because comfort is bad, but because comfort can keep you still when you need to move. And so He stirs you, He unsettles you, He makes you feel a shift inside that you can't explain. It is not punishment, it is preparation. But here's the part that is hardest to believe when you're in it. He has not forgotten you, not for a moment, not in your darkest nights, not in your quietest prayer. Does He who created not know His creation? Qur'an 67:14. He knows you better than you know yourself. He knows the pain you've hidden from others. He knows the tears you've wiped before anyone could see them. He knows the weight you've been carrying quietly, and He knows exactly how to lift it. He knows exactly when to lift it. You see, blessings are not random. They are timed. They arrive exactly when you are ready to hold them without dropping them. If you had received this blessing earlier, you might have mishandled it. If it had come too soon, you might have loved it more than you loved the one who gave it to you. So Allah waits, not because He enjoys making you wait, but because He is too loving to give you something that would harm you. Think of the rain. You can't force it to fall. The clouds must form, the winds must shift, the air must prepare. And when the time is right, not a second early, not a second late, the sky opens and the rain falls exactly where it's meant to. That's what Allah's timing is like. You don't see the preparations, you don't hear the movements in the unseen, but when the moment comes, it will be perfect. So if your heart feels unsettled right now, if your life feels quiet, if you feel like you're waiting without answers, remember this: silence is not absence, delay is not denial, and emptiness is not abandonment. Sometimes Allah has to empty your hands completely before He can place in them what He has been preparing. Because if your hands are full of what you've outgrown, how will you carry what's meant for your future? And yes, it hurts to let go. It hurts to feel the space where someone used to be. It hurts to look at your life and see closed doors where you once saw open ones. But one day, you will see why it had to be this way. You will see the wisdom in the silence. You will see the mercy in the delay. You will see the blessing in the loss. And you will say, Ya Allah, now I understand. You were never breaking me. You were making me ready. So hold on. Even if the wait feels long, even if the silence feels heavy, even if the uncertainty feels endless, because perhaps What you call empty right now is simply space. Space for what's about to arrive. My brother, my sister, if your heart has been unsettled lately, don't panic. Don't rush to fix it. Don't assume it means you're doing something wrong. Sometimes that feeling in your heart is the sign that something is shifting in the unseen. When the heart feels different, you've noticed it, haven't you? You don't react to things the same way. The conversations you once enjoyed now feel empty. The dreams you once chased now seem smaller. The people you once thought you needed, you find yourself slowly detaching from. It's not because you've become cold. It's not because you've stopped caring. It's because Allah is making your soul ready for a different chapter. And to prepare you for that, He has to make you release the old chapter first. The mercy in empty hands. Before Allah places something in your hands, He often asks you to let go of what's already there. If your hands are full of the old, how will you carry the new? If your heart is still holding tight to yesterday, how will you make space for tomorrow? It feels like loss. It feels like being left behind. It feels like life is shrinking around you. But maybe it's just Allah clearing the room before He fills it. When Allah clears the room, think about it. When you want to paint a wall, you don't paint over dirt. You clean it first. When you want to plant a garden, you don't throw seeds into weeds. You clear the soil first. Allah is doing the same with your life. He's removing what could block the blessing. He's clearing what could choke the growth. He's making sure the ground of your heart is ready. The silence is full. It's easy to think the silence means nothing is happening. But silence can be full of Allah's care. Just because you can't see the plan doesn't mean it's not unfolding. Just because you don't hear movement doesn't mean Allah isn't moving things for you. Look at the rain. You don't see the clouds forming at first. The wind changes quietly. The air shifts without warning. And then, when the time is perfect, the sky opens and the rain falls exactly where it's meant to. The pain of letting go, I won't pretend it's easy. Letting go is not soft work. It stings. It leaves your chest heavy. It makes you miss what you lost, even when you know you outgrew it. But Allah doesn't remove without reason. He doesn't take without giving. He doesn't delay without preparing. The thing that left your life, maybe it would have blocked the light meant for you. The door that closed, maybe it would have led to a path that hurt you. The person who walked away, maybe they were never meant to witness the chapter Allah is writing next for you. His knowledge is perfect. Does He who created not know His creation? Qur'an 67:14. He knows your heart. He knows what keeps you up at night. He knows what scares you. He knows what you can't say out loud. And He knows what is best for you. Not just in this moment, but for your entire life and for your akhirah. You are not forgotten. The delay is not proof that Allah has forgotten you. It is proof that He is paying very close attention to you. Because when He gives fully. He doesn't do rushed blessings. He doesn't hand you something that will harm you more than it heals you. That's why the preparation takes time. The moment you'll understand. One day, you will look back and say, Ya Allah, now I understand. You will understand why the people left. You'll understand why the door closed. You'll understand why He made you wait longer than you wanted. And you'll see that His timing was not late, it was exact. What to do in the waiting. While you wait, talk to Him. Be honest. Tell Him your fears. Tell Him your hopes. Tell Him that you trust Him even when you don't understand Him. And remind yourself every day, the one who is writing your story loves you more than your own soul loves to breathe. When the chapter turns, when it's time, you will see how perfectly everything fits. The space that felt empty will be filled with what you truly needed. The silence that felt endless will make sense. The waiting that felt wasted will show its wisdom, and you'll realize Allah was never breaking you. He was building you. Hold on a little longer. So, my dear brother, my dear sister, hold on a little longer. Breathe a little deeper. Trust a little more. Because maybe the very thing that feels like loss right now is the space being made for the blessing you've been praying for. You are not at the end of your story. You are at the beginning of the chapter you will thank Allah for. My brother, my sister, if your heart has been unsettled lately, don't rush to silence it. Don't rush to escape it, because maybe this is not the sound of your life falling apart. Maybe this is the sound of Allah making space for what's on its way. He has heard every dua. He has counted every tear. He has seen every night you went to sleep wondering if anything will ever change. And He has not forgotten you. So breathe, be patient, trust His timing, because what He's preparing for you is greater than what you are holding on to now. And when it arrives, you look back at the season and realize it wasn't here to break you. It was here to make you ready